Hello everybody and welcome to today's live session. Lovely to see you here. Welcome all of you from all over the world. And listen, today's topic is this one, the topic of study. We're going to be looking at different vocabulary, idioms. We've got some games for you, an interesting listening activity, all to help you speak more confidently on the topic of study. Welcome all of you. You may have noticed my background is a little bit different from the usual one. That's because I'm in the UK, I'm in England, I'm staying at my brother and sister-in-law's house, and we're in Manchester, believe it or not. Now, we've come back here for family reasons, just for a couple of days, which is why we had to change the date. Normally it's Thursday, I know, but today it's Friday, and welcome all of you. Look at this topic of study. Let's see who's in the house. We've got Cookbook. Hello, favourite teacher. Lovely, nice to see you here, indeed. Mani Vorchan, welcome. Good to see you here as well. And we've also got, hello, we've got Mahama Wood. We've got, who else have we got? Rashid, you've posted more comments than I've had hot meals this year. That is amazing. Thank you for all your comments there. Sylvia, nice to meet you from Italy. Great. Not far from where I live. You may or may not know, I'm from Manchester, but I do live in Spain at the moment. Uti, hello, nice to see you. We've got Kamal, great. And other students' names that I recognise, Julia, all the way from Myanmar, nice to see you. Monica from Poland, lovely to see you here as well. Kyo Trang, I've seen your comment and we'll get onto that later today to find out what has happened. There may have been a technical problem, but we will sort that out today as well. Okay. Welcome all and sundry. Nice to see all of you here today for today's topic of study. Now, if this is your first time here, I'll just go through what we're going to do. The session normally lasts around an hour and a half. It may be a bit shorter, a bit longer. I suspect today might be a bit shorter because, as you can see, some things are a bit improvised, but we'll see how we go. There's a series of activities. Let me talk you through the different activities that we're going to do. Let me just click over here, right? Now, we're going to look at the topic of study, and that includes, well, books, but also audio and computer and all the different resources that you have. By the way, I've just realised, of course, this is the first time I've seen you, right, this year. So happy new year to all of you. And I hope for a lot of you, this will be maybe a platform or a launching pad to begin studying your English and to start studying. So hopefully this will give you a good boost and motivation to get into 2026 with lots of ideas for studying and getting into a study habit. These live lessons I do for free on YouTube the first Thursday of every month. So we're starting 2026 with a bang to help you get going and keep you motivated with your English study. And no intended pun, but the topic today is study. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing, first of all, a listening bingo activity, which is just a fun way of developing your listening skills, but also helping you discover new vocabulary that we can also practice and will review throughout this lesson using the Speaking Success System. So I hope you're also listening today. I'm going to analyze some useful chunks. If you've seen my recent videos on YouTube, I talk a lot about chunks of language, a bit like Lego building blocks that help you speak more fluently rather than focusing on just individual words, looking at chunks of language. We're going to focus on that today to help you all become more confident speakers of English. I'm going to analyse vocabulary, topic-related vocabulary. Another very important thing, if you are preparing for IELTS and IELTS Speaking this year, topic-related vocabulary, really, really important because you have to prepare for so many different topics. And today our topic is study. So we'll be looking at lots of useful words, phrases, and also idioms for that. We'll be doing a bit of speaking practice through the chat, and we'll be doing some idioms, a bit like this one. What on earth is that? We'll be finding out later. I'll be showing you some pictures and you'll have to guess what the idioms are. And we'll finish up, of course, with our winter game of Kahoot to test you. So no nodding off in today's lesson. Make notes as you go along because I'll be testing you at the end on some of the vocabulary that we have been looking at today. So that is my best laid plan, and let's see how it goes. There may be some variations as we go, but that is absolutely fine. Now, this is interesting. I would like to change my study habit. So I'm curious what your study habit is, but let me tell you, your study habit is probably the one most important thing you can plan for your 2026. Deciding what days you're going to study, how long each time, and putting that in your calendar or agenda. Prioritize it. Build the rest of your life around your English study. Put your classes that you're going to study or your self-study time in your calendar, in your agenda, and make sure, because it's that habit, right? Remember, just practicing or studying 5 minutes a day is better than 1 hour once a week. It's that regular study habit. So thanks for sharing. That's really, really important. Elias says also, Happy New Year. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. Lily, hello. Nice to see you. Greetings from Venezuela. Lovely to see you here. I hope you are doing well. Farah, good to see you here as well. Kamal, you'll definitely go to meet me. Where are you going to meet me? You're going to meet me here? Maybe. Right. Okay. And we've got all the way from the Ukraine. Lovely to see you here as well. Shayakam, thanks for sharing that. Congratulations. You got your 7 in your IELTS test. All thanks to me. Well, I'm sure it's thanks to you, all the hard work that you've put in to get that. Well done. Daniela, a quick comment. Yes. So Facebook has cut off this link and I cannot share it on Facebook today. It has to be on YouTube. So, in fact, I'm going to say to Burns, who I'm hoping is here, Burns, if you can get onto the Facebook group and just let people know to switch over to YouTube, that would be great. Okay. Lovely to see you here, all of you. So let's kick off. Let's start with our first bit of a warm-up activity, let's say. So I'm just going to share. Let me change here. Here's a question for all of you. Now, I'm assuming most of you have left school. I'm sure you have. And some of you may be at college or university or working. I'm curious, what did you study after you left school? If you went on for further study, what did you study after you left school? Write down in the chat and let's see what you come up with, right? Let's do it. Let me throw some music in the background. Elvira and Daniela, I wonder if you'd also be so kind as to just put a little note in the Facebook group to tell people to come over to YouTube. Danielle, thank you for waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning from Peru. That is dedication. Well done. Interesting. Mechanical engineering. Law. Safa, architectural engineering. Nice. And Manish, you're doing your masters in mathematics. Let me just help you slightly. With your, when you say master, we will say doing my masters with an S. Great. Merkuza, you're going to apply to Flight Academy. Are you going to become a pilot? Dahlia says chemistry. Eva says languages. Actually, you're in school already. Politics, okay, wide range. Economics, Marie is in nursing, studying nursing. Oh, Summer, you've got a secure future. You're doing data science and machine learning. Nice. Planning to pursue my master's. Well done. You've got the S in medicinal chemistry. Brilliant. So lots of different things that you're studying out there. Let's have a look. We're going to move into our first activity here, which is going to be a listening quiz, if you like. So what we're going to do, right, is first of all, we're going to listen to this young man that you can see in the picture. He's talking about his studies. And as we listen, your question for you is, who do you think he is talking to? So listen carefully to what he says, how he says it, and some of the words, and try and guess who is he talking to, right? That's the question. Excellent, good. Thank you for all the comments. Wow, there's too many to highlight, but very, very useful, very, very interesting. So here we are. We've got the listening activity first. Let's listen to this young man and listen carefully and decide who do you think he's talking to. Just write in the chat what your answer is. You'll want to wait until the end, though. That's my advice. Don't answer too quickly because the clues are as you listen. Okay, just give me a quick thumbs up if you're ready to listen. Okay. Excellent, great. We're going to go. Here we go. Let's start. Listen carefully.
When I was sitting where you are now, I remember feeling quite unsure about my future. Everyone kept asking me what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to study at university, and to be honest, I didn't have a clue, really. I didn't have everything mapped out. I just knew that I wanted to go to university. In the end, I chose to study business management. I guess I picked it mainly because it felt practical and flexible. I wasn't 100% sure what career I wanted, but I knew I enjoyed problem solving, working with people, and I had an interest in the world of business. Did I enjoy my studies? Well, for the most part, yes, I'd say so. Some subjects were genuinely interesting, especially marketing and entrepreneurship. I really liked them because they felt connected to real life. That said, some subjects just didn't spark my interest at all. And I must admit, there were moments when I struggled. The deadlines, the pressure, and a few modules that didn't really suit me. Believe it or not, at one point, I even considered changing my major. What stopped me, though, was chatting to one tutor who pointed out that actually no subject is perfect. So I decided to stick with it rather than start again from scratch. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. My studies taught me more than just academic knowledge. I learned how to manage my time, work independently, and think more critically. And frankly, those skills have been just as valuable as the degree itself. So, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Choose a subject that genuinely interests you, but don't panic if you feel uncertain. It's normal to question your choices. What matters most is how you engage with your studies, the whole experience of learning, and, of course, the people you meet there. There you go. Oh yes, and good luck to you all.
Right. That's it. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think he's talking to? We've got audience. Well, audience, right? Yes, somebody says the freshman. Good answer. Public. Could be. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Students. Good answer. Yes. Talking with students. The tutor is the listener and he is the speaker, finally telling to the audience. Dahlia says, speaking to his students, possibly. Lily says, us. Right. Well, that's true. Yes. With students, the freshman is interesting. Answer, Elena. We've also got here high school students. Okay, good. Very, very good answers. I would say the simplest answer that I've got here. Oh, let me just move all my pieces here. I've got too many things on my screen. But he is talking to, let me wind this up here. He's talking to students, right? Now, they may be his students. We don't know. They may be students from another college, or maybe students from the university that he went to. Sometimes alumni are invited back to give a talk. I think the answer of the freshman students is possible. It could be students in their last year about to graduate, or it could be high school students about to go to university. Anybody who's thinking about going on to study further. So simple answer, students, it could be different kinds of students there. Okay, excellent, good, very, very good. Now, let's move on a little bit deeper and take this a step further. So we're going to listen again. And what we're going to do this time, let me just bring this up here, is I would like you to listen again and mark the boxes below where he says the exact same words. Let me change where to if. So if you hear, for example, at university, then you will mark A1, right? Which is the exact same words. If he says in university, then you don't mark it because it's not the exact same words. And then when you've got 1, 2, 3, for example, in a row, you just type bingo in the chat with the boxes. So you may say A1, B1, C1, for example, right? So that's it. We're listening again, trying to find the boxes that have the exact same words, okay? So we've got here in the boxes, if you can see, hopefully, we've got at university, have a map, solving problems, generally interesting, spark my interest, suitable for me, manage my time, some advice, and question your decisions, okay? So we're going to listen another time, going into more detail now, and let's see if you can get the bingo. As soon as you've got it, you can write in the chat. But again, be careful. I advise you to wait till the very end before you decide on the bingo. It's not as easy as it seems, right? Okay, lovely. Well, listen, let me find the button and let's listen again.
When I was sitting where you are now, I remember feeling quite unsure about my future. Everyone kept asking me what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to study at university, and to be honest, I didn't have a clue, really. I didn't have everything mapped out. I just knew that I wanted to go to university. In the end, I chose to study business management. I guess I picked it mainly because it felt practical and flexible. I wasn't 100% sure what career I wanted, but I knew I enjoyed problem solving, working with people, and I had an interest in the world of business. Did I enjoy my studies? Well, for the most part, yes, I'd say so. Some subjects were genuinely interesting, especially marketing and entrepreneurship. I really liked them because they felt connected to real life. That said, some subjects just didn't spark my interest at all. And I must admit, there were moments when I struggled. The deadlines, the pressure, and a few modules that didn't really suit me. Believe it or not, at one point, I even considered changing my major. What stopped me, though, was chatting to one tutor who pointed out that actually no subject is perfect. So I decided to stick with it rather than start again from scratch. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. My studies taught me more than just academic knowledge. I learned how to manage my time, work independently, and think more critically. And frankly, those skills have been just as valuable as the degree itself. So, If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Choose a subject that genuinely interests you, but don't panic if you feel uncertain. It's normal to question your choices. What matters most is how you engage with your studies, the whole experience of learning, and, of course, the people you meet there. There you go. Oh, yes, and good luck to you all.
Good luck to you all indeed. So let's see. Have we got any bingos? We've got 1B, 2A, 1B, 2A, 3C. We've got others. We've got, where are we? A1, A2, A3, 3A, 3B, 3C. Interesting. Ooh, very interesting. Ooh, we've got lots. A1, C1, B2, A3, C3. Interesting. A1, A2, A3. Let's have a look. We've got bingo over here. A1, A2, A3. The messages are going too fast. 1B, 2A, 3A. Right, but remember, you need 3 in a row, right? As in bingo, so you're going to ideally looking for 3 in a row this way, or diagonally as well. Okay, interesting answers. I'm not going to give you the answer just yet. What I'm going to do is play again, and as we go through, I will just mark the answers as we listen together, and you can see what the answers are, okay? Right, let's do it. Let me go through again. Here we go. Are you ready? Ready.
When I was sitting where you are now, I remember feeling quite unsure about my future. Everyone kept asking me what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to study at university, and to be honest, I didn't have a clue, really. I didn't have everything mapped out. I just knew that I wanted to go to university. In the end, I chose to study business management. I guess I picked it mainly because it felt practical and flexible. I wasn't 100% sure what career I wanted, but I knew I enjoyed problem solving, working with people, and I had an interest in the world of business. Did I enjoy my studies? Well, for the most part, yes, I'd say so. Some subjects were genuinely interesting, especially marketing and entrepreneurship. I really liked them because they felt connected to real life. That said, some subjects just didn't spark my interest at all. And I must admit, there were moments when I struggled. The deadlines, the pressure, and a few modules that didn't really suit me. Believe it or not, at one point, I even considered changing my major. What stopped me, though, was chatting to one tutor who pointed out that actually no subject is perfect. So I decided to stick with it rather than start again from scratch. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. My studies taught me more than just academic knowledge. I learned how to manage my time, work independently, and think more critically. And frankly, those skills have been just as valuable as the degree itself. So, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Choose a subject that genuinely interests you, but don't panic if you feel uncertain. It's normal to question your choices. What matters most is how you engage with your studies, the whole experience of learning, and, of course, the people you meet there. There you go. Oh, yes, and good luck to you all.
There, inside the listing, lots of different words came up, some interesting expressions. So we've been helping you, I say we, the royal we, me, I've been helping you develop your listening skills there, trying to focus on the overall meaning and then individual words. Let's break it down. Let's watch a final time. Watch is the wrong word. Let's listen a final time. And as we do, I'll show you the script and you can read. So you can start connecting the sounds to the words, and then we'll just look at some interesting phrases and chunks that appear in this listening. If you notice the screen shaking, it's not an earthquake, it's because I'm on a different table from usual. And now again, I keep knocking my computer. Not to worry. Do you like the backdrop? Interesting backdrop, right? Different from my usual one. Excellent. I've just noticed we had a problem with the sound. Yes, thank you for that, for reminding me. This happens sometimes when I change view, but we're back again. You can hear me now. So I was just saying, in case you missed it, we're going to listen again because I'd like to go through and have you listen and read the script at the same time, which will help you connect the sound to the words. And we'll look at some interesting phrases and chunks that came up in this listening. Okay. Eva, the background is real. Absolutely. Does it look like a green screen? It's absolutely real. Yes. Great. Burns, good to see you here. The sound is back. Thank you. Okay. Right. So let's do it. Let me, just as I'm pulling this up, there's a prize going for anybody who can guess the accent of the person we were listening to. That's a real spicy challenge question, not easy. Okay, let's go. Let me just bring this up again. I'm sorry it keeps muting. I'm not sure why that is happening. I'm back again. We're going to listen again and read. So here is the script. Let's do it. I do apologize for some technical details today. I don't have all my usual tools and gadgetry here, so I'm thrown at times. Normally, I have like I have a monitor and a screen and I can move things around. This is a real challenge of my technical skills here. Oh, well done. We've got it. MSP winner, Irish. Very, very well done. I'm surprised that you got that. That was really, really good. It was quite a soft Irish accent, but definitely an Irish accent. So well done you. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let's listen and have a look at the same time.
When I was sitting where you are now, I remember feeling quite unsure about my future. Everyone kept asking me what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to study at university, and to be honest, I didn't have a clue, really. I didn't have everything mapped out. I just knew that I wanted to go to university. In the end, I chose to study business management. I guess I picked it mainly because it felt practical and flexible. I wasn't 100% sure what career I wanted, but I knew I enjoyed problem solving, working with people, and I had an interest in the world of business. Did I enjoy my studies? Well, for the most part, yes, I'd say so. Some subjects were genuinely interesting, especially marketing and entrepreneurship. I really liked them because they felt connected to real life. That said, some subjects just didn't spark my interest at all. And I must admit, there were moments when I struggled. The deadlines, the pressure, and a few modules that didn't really suit me. Believe it or not, at one point, I even considered changing my major. What stopped me, though, was chatting to one tutor who pointed out that actually no subject is perfect. So I decided to stick with it rather than start again from scratch. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. My studies taught me more than just academic knowledge. I learned how to manage my time, work independently, and think more critically. And frankly, those skills have been just as valuable as the degree itself. So, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Choose a subject that genuinely interests you, but don't panic if you feel uncertain. It's normal to question your choices. What matters most is how you engage with your studies, the whole experience of learning, and, of course, the people you meet there. There you go. Oh, yes, and good luck to you all.
Right. There we go. Very, very good. Let me just go back and highlight a few things that were interesting here. Okay. So when I was sitting where you are now, so this is probably an alumni who's gone back to his school, possibly back to his university or to high school. He says, everyone's asking me what to do. I didn't have a clue. Great expression, meaning I didn't know. Okay, I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. You can use that in many situations. People ask you, what's the time? I don't have a clue. I don't know. You can use it in the present tense as well. I don't have a clue. So, yes, if you don't know the answer, just say, I don't have a clue. I don't know. He goes on to say, I didn't have everything mapped out. Coming from the word map, you probably know the noun, a map. Like a GPS, you have a map. But the verb to map out means to plan and organize something. You can map out, well, let me see. You can map out your future. You can map out your career. You can map out a holiday. And that doesn't mean you're choosing the places. It can also be you're choosing the activities you're going to do. Map out something, okay? Very nice expression to use, especially talking about your studies, right? If you're thinking about your career, I haven't mapped out my future, my career yet, okay? To map out. He then goes on to say, in the end, I chose to study business management. I picked it. So to pick has different meanings, but it can mean to choose something, to pick a subject, or to pick a degree. You can pick a university. It's to choose, right? Literally, to pick is when you pick, like if you pick a flower, or you're walking in the garden and you pick some flowers. But more idiomatically, to pick is just to choose. Do you remember at school when you were playing different sports and you'd have two teams? You'd have a captain and a captain. And the captains had to pick which students come to their team. I pick you, you come to my team. So you can pick people for your team. You can pick a subject to study. And of course, you must pick a university or a college where you're going to study. Nice word to use, right? Simple but effective, to pick. Excellent. Let me just keep an eye on your comments in case more questions come up. Oh, I love some of your comments here. It's all Greek to me. That is really good. That is a very nice idiom, meaning it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it, particularly when something doesn't make sense. Yeah. You can map out your ideas, plan and organize. I have to map out this journey. Very good example. Yes. Map out the future, map out your career. Excellent. Good. To pick is like select. Yes, exactly. NSO, very nice example. I picked a colour to paint the walls. Pick the major. Which major did you pick? Yes. Pick is equal to opt for. Another great word. Well, it's a phrasal verb. To opt for, to pick. Really nice. I'm very impressed. Yes. Excellent. Oh, Ibrahim, you've changed your avatar, but thank you very, very much. First live lesson of the year. Oh, and it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Let me give you an applause. Happy birthday, Ibrahim. He's, of course, one of our Gold Course students. Lovely to see you here. Excellent. Thank you. Jahanara says, when I have started my PhD journey, I didn't have a clue in which direction I should go. That's very, very nice. Jahanara, I'm going to help you just a little bit because this will help everybody. I would say I would use the simple past, right? I would say when I started my PhD journey, I didn't have a clue. Remember the a. I didn't have a clue which direction I should go. Beautiful English, Jahanara. Thank you so much. Really, really nice. Yes? Ina, so not quite right, but you're very, very close. And I love that you're experimenting and trialing. What you need to put here is I'm gonna go for. So to go for is to choose or to pick, right? I'm gonna go for. Yes. Okay. Natalia, you picked right. Okay. This is also quite tricky, but the subject, when we're talking about economic, is the subject is economics. I picked history. I picked economics is the subject, right? Lovely to see you here as well, Natalia. Yes. And Julia, this is really useful because this practice is going to show you how we can use these words correctly. If you want to be somebody, you need to map put in order to set the trailblazer. Yes, so to map out is what we want to say. And that will be, I know you're just typing quickly. You need to map out. So you need to map out something. So we need to map out, I don't know, your future, let's say. You need to map out your future in order to set the trailblazer. So it's always map out something or map something out, okay? Excellent, I like it. Fatima, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about that. I'm nervous today because it's a different setup. Travels blog, can I give you some advice? Grandpa is not a great term to use. I think teacher would be more appropriate here rather than grandpa. Because in England and America, we only use words like grandpa and uncle if they are family relations, right? I know it's different in Bangladesh, but just to let you know. Okay, so let's move on. We've got, did I enjoy my studies? For the most part. For the most part just means mostly, right? Mostly. Not 100%, but probably 90%, yes. Some subjects were genuinely interesting. That's a nice collocation. Genuinely interesting. Genuinely interesting. What a difficult word, right? Genuinely interesting. Great. We've got now this here, spark my interest. So it's in the negative, but to spark my interest is just to create some interest, okay? Spark is, well, a spark is, you know, when you have a match and there's a spark. So it's normally the start of a flame or a fire. There's a spark. So that idea, in your car, in the engine, you've got these spark plugs. And when you turn on the engine, the spark plugs goes, and that starts the engine. So to spark is this idea of to start or to ignite something. Here, spark your interest. It can create interest, start your interest, make you interested in something, right? So it's a nice expression you can use to, it didn't spark my interest. In the positive, you say, yes, it sparked my interest. It sparked my interest. With that ed, sparked. It sparked my interest. Okay. There were moments when I struggled. To struggle is just to find something difficult. Yeah, the deadlines, as you know, when you study, you've got deadlines, you've got pressure. A few modules didn't suit me. They didn't match maybe my personality. They weren't good for me. Other interesting expressions here, to stick with. I decided to stick with it. So to stick with is really to continue doing it, to carry on doing it. When something's difficult, maybe you want to stop or to give up. But what you can do is carry on. And if you're motivated or find the motivation, you can carry on, you can stick with it. Stick literally is when you've got glue and you stick something. You can stick a post-it on the wall. So that idea of to glue, to be stuck and to carry on doing it, right? Stick with it. So I encourage you with your English study, stick with it in 2026. Here's another interesting one. Start from scratch. To scratch, it's an interesting expression, right? Because to scratch is literally is when you're scratching. So if your hand is itching, you scratch. Start from scratch just means to begin from the beginning, from the very beginning, right? So maybe you've started studying, you've done 2 months, you don't like it, and you decide, right, forget English, I'm going to study surfing instead or something else. And you start from scratch. You start from the beginning, okay? Most of you here studying English, you're not starting from scratch because you already know quite a lot of English, probably a lot more than you think. So you're not starting from scratch, okay? Useful expression, to start from scratch. We've also got looking back, I'm glad I made that decision. What else? To panic. Yeah, don't panic, don't worry. To panic is in effect to worry here. Okay, those are some of the key expressions we've got here. Okay, let me check in with you. That is such a nice comment. Thank you very much. Thank God for giving us an English Speaking Success channel. Thank you so much. Life doesn't always follow what we mapped out. Why? I really don't have a clue. That is so good on so many levels. Great example, great English, great philosophy. I really like that example. Thank you so much. Yes. My future isn't fully mapped out for now, but I do everything to accomplish all the goals I have. I can wave 1985. Spot on. Perfect. Inaso, you got nervous when you had the test. Everyone says you deserve a band 8. I got a band 7. I love your positive attitude. That's really, really good. Try your best next time. 7 is really good. But if you deserve an 8, you will get it. Stick with it. Don't give up. Keep going, right? Lucky you, Musa Sangar. Where are you going on your next trip? Okay. Let's see any other examples coming up. My father started business from scratch. Nice. I would just add here, just to help you. So that's very generic, but if you're talking about his business, right, I would emphasize my father started his business from scratch. Really nice, yes. Let's see. Julia, this is a very similar expression. I don't want to go back to square one or start from scratch. So a very similar expression, and thank you for sharing, is to go back to not but back to square one. To go back to square one is to start from scratch. Start from the beginning. Lovely. Thank you, Julia. Gosh, another of our gold students. Thank you for sharing. Yes. What else have we got? I sparked my self-motivation. Yes, you could say that. Yes. Yes. Normally we say something sparks my interest or something sparks my motivation. But I guess you could say I sparked my self-motivation. Like I created the motivation, right? Helena is going to start studying swimming from scratch this year. So you've never swum. First time. Good luck. Farah, thank you for your comment. Yes. This is interesting. At the age 29, I started English from scratch. Wow, that's great. Well, well done. You're doing really, really well. At the age, I'm going to help you a little bit here, and everybody. At the age of 29, I started English from scratch. My example is at the age of 50, I started English speaking success from scratch. Right? Nice. Sherlock. Sherlock is your brother. That's interesting. My life didn't go as mapped out, so I'm back to your live lesson after 2 years to start from scratch. Well, you're very welcome and very happy to see you back here. Not good news for you, but good news for me that you're studying with me. Yes. Back to square one. Lovely. Isn't that really nice? You see? What I love is that we're teaching each other, right? You're also teaching each other here as well. Okay, brilliant, good. So, I'm looking for my buttons, but I don't have my machine here because I'm in England. Things are going to go a bit slower than usual, but that's absolutely fine. So we're on the topic of study. And if you've just arrived, welcome. Why are you late? I'm just joking. Don't worry. We've been through a listening bingo activity. We've been analysing a little bit of that language, but I want to look specifically now at some chunks from that listening. Chunks are 2 or 3 words that commonly go together, and that when we speak, we kind of use the chunk rather than individual words. If you're thinking about individual words, you will speak more slowly and your fluency will be slower. If you think in chunks, you're going to speed up and you will be more fluent, right? Can you see that? The chunks, when we're using these chunks of language, it really, really helps us. So there were some interesting chunks, right, in this listening. If I switch back, first one that I mentioned, we said, right, I didn't have a clue. And I encourage you to try and say this as one sound. So instead of saying I didn't have a clue, I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue. And that kind of intonation, I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue. And we stress the clue at the end as a noun. I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue. It's a nice chunk. And if you can use that, it just helps with your fluency because you're thinking of the chunk, the sound, almost one sound. Did you know we had a live lesson today? No, I didn't have a clue. The example we listened to was, to be honest, I didn't have a clue about what I wanted to study. So notice the preposition here is about, to have a clue about something. I didn't have a clue about your idea. To be honest, I didn't have a clue about what I wanted to study. The next one, in the end, in the end, in the end. Again, think of one sound, in the end, in the end. Meaning really, finally, or literally, in the end. The example was, excuse me, burping. Oh, excuse me. I would normally mute, excuse me for that. In the end, I chose to study business management. In the end, so after A and after B and after this and after that, in the end, I chose to study business management. And there again, I chose to study can be a chunk, right? I chose to study. I chose to study history. I chose to study mathematics. I chose to study English. Mainly because, okay. The example in the listening was, I chose to study business management mainly because it felt practical and flexible. And can you see how if you pause in the right place there, it just helps it flow. I chose to study business management, or let me get the right keyboard. I chose to study business management, pause, mainly because, pause, it felt practical and flexible. Put it all together, I chose to study business management mainly because it felt practical and flexible. And those chunks are really helping with the fluency. The chunks and the pausing, right? Nice. May, lovely to see you here. May says, in the end, I chose to study international relations. Great. Aisha, hello, Aisha. Nice to see you here. Camel, I think you're too young for IELTS at 13. Yes. Normally, I think 16 or 17. 17 normally is the youngest age. In the end, I got first prize. Nice and well done. Yes. Elvira says, when I was in 8th grade, I had to choose a profession. I didn't have a clue what to go for. Notice the pausing. I didn't have a clue what to go for. Like I didn't have an idea. Yes, similar. Yeah, similar meaning. Okay. What's the difference between in the end and at the end of the day? Well, in the end normally is when you've either taken several decisions or you've had several ideas. You've had 1 or 2 or 3 ideas. I might do this. I could do that. I might do this. But in the end, finally, I'm going to do this. At the end of the day is more when you're making a conclusion or you're emphasizing the most important thing. So maybe you've said, there's this possibility, there's that possibility. At the end of the day, we're going to do this. And it's kind of emphasizing the most important thing. To be honest, they are very, very similar in meaning, and you can use them in the same way. But at the end of the day, it's a bit more idiomatic because it doesn't mean, 11 o'clock at night. It doesn't mean at the end of the day. It just means as a conclusion, the most important thing is this. Okay. Very good question. Nice. Pavanti, you said, in the end, I chose to do work machine learning. Yeah, great. Good. Very, very nice. Let me share a few more because there are a few more very interesting chunks here. For the most part, and this is really good, you can use this if you're doing IELTS speaking. If people ask you, hello, Mr. Examiner, who are all these other people? There's not a lot of people. There's one examiner. If the examiner asks you, do you like fish? Do you like going out? Do you like blah, blah, blah? You could say, well, for the most part, yes, I like going out, but sometimes I like to stay at home. It's a really nice chunk that will help you develop your answer. For the most part, like 90%, yes. But then you can add a bit more, but Great chunk, for the most part. Notice the for becomes for the most part, because we stress the. For the most part, we stress most, excuse me. For the most part, can you say that? Try again. Repeat after me. For the most part, or for the most part, often that T at the end we don't pronounce. For the most part, I enjoyed my studies. Excellent. Believe it or not is the next one. Believe it or not, or believe it or not. Again, that T in the it, sometimes we drop that sound. Believe it or not, I even considered changing my major. Now, you probably wouldn't say that to an examiner. You'd probably use that chunk with somebody who's a friend or you're very familiar with, I think. Believe it or not. The idea that it's something surprising, right? You may not believe this. This may surprise you, but I even considered changing my major. And of course, you would only use that with a friend because you can surprise a friend, but you won't. The examiner is not going to be surprised because they don't know you, right? So, but a very useful expression for general conversation. The next one, at one point. Notice again the at one point. You could say at one point, but probably we would drop that sound. At one point means, well, it means that at one point in time is really what it means. At one point in time, but we just say at one point, I even considered changing my major. So again, a nice kind of chunk to mark a period in time. Let me just check in with you. I totally believe that. That's great. Believe it or not, I like you. Very, very good. Believe it or not, I may be US president one day. Well, the sooner the better, my friend. For the most part, I enjoyed my work. Nice. Very, very good. Excellent. Believe it or not, I think you are the best teacher. Daniela, because I know you, I believe you, and that's very, very kind. Thank you. Dahlia says, believe it or not, chocolate is poisonous for dogs and cats. That's a great example because that surprises me. I didn't know that chocolate was poisonous for dogs and cats. Interesting. This is interesting. Let's have a look at this one. And thank you very much for sharing. It says, at one point, I think this is very important for us. I probably wouldn't use it in that sense. It sounds more like you're saying, on the one hand, I think this is very important for us. Think of at one point as at one point in time. So sometime maybe in the past, at one point in time, I thought that was important. So you could, what you may be trying to say is at one point I thought that was. Let me just help you. Oh, gosh. Putting it in the past, because think about it, at one point in time is probably going to be the past or the future. But here at the past, at one point, I thought that was very important for us. But now I don't think it's important, right? If that's what you're trying to say. Thank you for sharing. Really, really useful. Yes. Believe it or not, when I was a child, I wanted to buy a candy store. I believe that. Me too. Yes. Well, for the most part, I really enjoyed our small evening talks last week. Excellent example. I like it very, very much. Cookbook. At one point, I decided to start knitting from scratch. Oh, that's very nice because you're mixing two of our new phrases there. Well done. Yes. Again, I'm going to change this. Let's put it in the past, right? At one point, I agreed with my husband, right? If you say I agree, it sounds like, well, on the one hand, I agree, but I don't agree with everything. Here, I think it's at one point I agreed with my husband, but now I don't. There's a change, right? Fatima, I've seen your comments. Hello, Fatima. I enjoyed from study. Please reply me. Yes. I enjoyed my study, I would say. Yes. At one point, I started disagreeing with the concept. Yep, nice example. Can we change to with? To disagree with something would be excellent, okay? At one point, is it equal to at that time? It's equal to at some time, at some moment, right? At one point. So let me give another example here, maybe to help. I'll give one in the future. At one point, I really must start studying Spanish again. Here's another example. So it could go to the future, right? At one point, meaning at some point in time, here in the future, I really must start studying Spanish again. So let me add also at some point in time. Just to make it clearer, that's what it really means. At some point in time, could be future, could be past. Excellent, good. Let me just check if there are any others that I should make it clear about. For the most part, I'll just add that means mostly. It would be great if I could type, wouldn't it? There we go. The final one, looking back now. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. Looking back now just means exactly that. Looking back in time, right? Let's say thinking about something past. Yeah, looking back now. So we use this when we're thinking about our past actions and reflecting on them. Looking back now, I'm glad I made that decision. Okay. Again, that you can imagine is a very good phrase for your IELTS speaking part 2, where you're telling a story or something that happened, and you're telling the time you went to the restaurant and this happened and that happened. And looking back now, it was a great day. Looking back now, I would do things differently. It's a really nice phrase you can use at the end of a story or a summary, if you like. Inasso says, looking back now, I think working hard paid off at the end. Yes. Very, very good. Yes. Excellent. Nice. Okay. Looking back now, I'm happy to play this match. You're almost there. That is really, really good. You're almost there. Let me just help a little bit. Looking back now, I'm happy I played this match or that match because it's in the past, right? Yeah. Excellent. Looking back now, I'm glad to join that course. Yes. Again, I think it would be better to say, I'm glad I did something rather than I'm glad to do it. When you say I'm glad to do it, it's now. But here you're looking back. So you want to use the past. I'm glad I joined that course. Be much more effective. Lovely example, Ibrahim. Happy birthday again. I hope you and your girlfriend, I hope she's celebrating with you. Have a great day. Kuso says, looking back now, I regret not studying English earlier. Yes, now that construction works. Regret not doing something works very, very well. Really nice. Well done. Super Naganguli. Looking back now, I'm happy that I made that one right investment. Yes. So you're rich now, right? You can invite us all to dinner, please. Really good example. Thank you. Well, Julia, you are the idiomatic queen here. Look at this. Looking back now, I'm glad I put my nose to the grindstone in my studies to some extent. Really good to put your nose to the grindstone. Grindstone in the singular, but really good. Yes. So to put your nose to the grindstone, for those who don't know, is to work hard. You could use it for study. We tend to use it for work rather than study, but you could use it here. Yeah, it's nice. Looking back now, I'm lucky I learnt English with you from scratch. Wow, great English. I'm lucky you joined me. Excellent, really nice. Listen, there are lots of examples, but I'm going to move on. So these are chunks that you can use. You can use in general conversation, in your IELTS speaking test, absolutely. Try and think of them as one sound and a block that you just say. So when you're practicing, I suggest what you can do when you practice is you can, later this evening, you can download the PDF from my website, and you can look at these. You can go back and listen. Just practice repeating the chunk. Da, da, da. Looking back now, looking back now, looking back now. At one point in time, at one point in time, at one point in time. Just repeat the chunk. And then, step 2, make a phrase. Looking back now, I think it was a good idea. At one point in time, I wanted to give up. So make little phrases that are true for you, talking about your life, because that will help you make the learning deeper. And it's a great way to practice. I don't know if you know, but I do have the websites, because you're on YouTube now, but we do have, I say we, me and the family. No, I do have a website, the Keith Speaking Academy. Let me just show you very briefly so you're aware of this. And I'll show you later where you can download the PDF. So the website is keithspeakingacademy.com. And there you can find out lots of information about the IELTS speaking test, different parts of the test. There are lots of free lessons. And if you click on this free lesson, later today, you'll be able to click on the download and you can get the PDF. You just have to put in your name and your email. It puts you on the mailing list. I can give you more tips and ideas, but you can unsubscribe anytime you like. And then you can download the PDF. This was from last month. We did creativity, but later today, this PDF will go there and you can get it. And I strongly recommend you do that, because if you get the PDF, you're able to review everything. Otherwise, it will go in one ear and go out the other. But you can go back later and just review, just repeat some of the phrases. And if you're not sure about pronunciation, just come back to the video and listen, right? It's a great way to review and practice. Remember, one of the key elements of the courses that I have is the speaking success system. And it's 3 simple steps. You discover and study new language, like we've done. Second, you practice speaking, so repeating, making phrases, etc. And 3, you review. And you can review by listening again, practicing, listening to, doing quizzes, which we have on the courses, and later we have our Kahoot to do some review. So those 3 steps, discover, practice, and review, it's the speaking success system, and it's the key to your success in 2026. And it's at the heart of all of my online courses, which you can find on the Keith Speaking Academy. Right now, let's get back to our lesson. Where are we? What's coming up next? Sometimes I forget, so I come back to my little, what's this? It's not a PDF, it's a slideshow. Vocabulary. Okay, we've looked at chunks. I'm going to look at some vocabulary on the topic of study in a little bit more detail, okay? I'm just going to pull up this one comment because I have seen it several times and I have noticed you. So, Kyo Trang, I've seen your email. Absolutely, you should be able to get in. There are things we can do to help you with this. Absolutely. At the end of the lesson today, myself and Burns, we will sort this out. We will solve your problem. So we've seen it there, right? We are going to work that out, okay? Don't worry. Okay, excellent. Fatima, thank you very much. Very nice comment. Okay, lovely. Now then, vocabulary. Let me switch over here. In fact, first, let me just have a little drink of water because it's thirsty work, right?
Ba-dab-shee-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be, bum bum bum.
Okay. IELTS speaking vocabulary study. So, talking about studies is such an important topic in IELTS. Not only in the introduction, where they ask you, do you work or are you a student? But also for other closely related topics that you will get in IELTS, such as your school, talk about a teacher you know, talk about skills you've learned in your life. A recent topic was concentration. Do you find it easy to concentrate? It's related. Education is a big topic. A hobby, talking about your hobbies. So here, for many people, studying another language or another skill is a hobby. So there's so many overlaps with other topics. So I think it's a really important topic to spend time on. Here are some useful phrases, right? You can talk about your studies. And this will help you just get the grammar right as well. The first one, I'm a student at university, or I'm a student at college, right? Be careful, it's at. I'm a student at university, or I'm a student at college. I'm a student at school. If you put the name, you would say, I'm a student at London University. I'm a student at Manchester University. So it's at blank university. I am aware some universities have a special name. They call themselves the University of Edinburgh, for example. Rather than Edinburgh University, it may be the University of ba. So just be careful with that. But normally we say, I study at blank university. I studied at Sheffield University, for example. Let me know in the chat, where did you study? I'd be interested to see. And as you're doing that, to talk about your studies, you can either use the present simple or the present continuous. Both of these are actually fine. So you can say, well, I study French, or I'm studying French. Normally the I am, we would just contract, right? I'm studying French. I study French. And put the stress on the noun, on the the subject. I study French. I'm studying French. Both of those are right. I mean, the slight difference, I guess, I'm studying has a more temporary feel. That it's kind of, I'm studying French now, but maybe I will change in the future. But really, you can use both of these interchangeably, right? So Elena asks, what is the difference between London University and the University of London? Well, really, the difference is they're two different places. So some universities specifically say our name is the University of Columbia or the University of London. I know Edinburgh is one. It's the University of Edinburgh. You can say London University, but it may be a different university, right? Sometimes it refers to a different place. So it depends on the university is the short answer. Kamal says, I'm a student at Cambridge University. Kamal, you said you were 13 years old. You're a fantastic student if you're there. Well done you. But as an example, very, very nice. Now, this is interesting. I'm study. Now, look carefully and see if we can work out how to make this better. So it's either I study or I'm studying. But here you've mixed them up. You said I'm study at National University. So let's help you. Let's change it. I'm studying at National University. I suspect if that's the name, I'm not sure if national is the name or if it's just an adjective here, but I'm studying is the key one, right? You want to say I'm studying at the National University. We've got here, I'm doing my master's in English literature, excuse me, in English literature at college, not university. Excellent. I was a student at Princeton University. That's another good way. You can say, I am a student at, I was a student at. Good. Sidebeck, I suspect you may be, as with a lot of people, you may be translating word for word in your own language. So be careful. I am study. It needs to be I am studying. Now, at Uzbekistan, if you're just going to say the city, rather than at, say in. I'm studying in Uzbekistan. I'm studying at Uzbekistan University, at the university, but with a city or with a country, we'd probably say in. I'm studying in London. I'm studying in Uzbekistan. Okay. I'm a student at Society University. Okay, great. I study Sanskrit. Nice. I'm a postgraduate from Dhaka. Asifa, lovely to see you here. Great, another student on our course. Great. I studied at Moscow State University. Very nice. I'm a student at APS University. I studied at Manchester University years ago. Great, you're an alumni then. Okay, lovely. Very, very nice. Moving on, especially in IELTS, you can develop this and talk about, in addition, how long you have studied. And here we would use the present perfect or the present perfect continuous to say how long you've studied. So you can say, I have been studying for 2 months. The I have, we would probably change to I've. I've been studying for 2 months. Notice we use for to describe a period of time. For 2 months, for 3 years, for 6 weeks. But we use since to describe a point in time. I've been studying since July, since 2022. So the difference between for and since is important there, okay? But you can use this to talk about how long you have studied or been studying, okay? Ever, you said, I've been studying at the University of Third Age now. At the University of Third Age. That's the one for retired people, I think, right? As in the third age of our lives, yes? Yep. I've been studying English for 6 years. Perfect. Nice. Emin, you're asking present simple, I am study Moscow. Wouldn't it be so? No, present simple would be I study, not I am study. So present simple, you take away the verb to be and you just have the verb. I study in Moscow. Yeah. Present simple, I study in Moscow. I study at Moscow University. Good question, though. Very good question. This is an interesting question. Do you think the examiner may ask age-specific questions? Probably not. No. The questions are very, very open for people from 18 years up to 80 years. They're very open questions. They won't be age-specific, but they may ask about millennials because anybody can have an opinion about millennials, but you don't have to be a millennial. Asifa, likewise. I have been studying moons ago. Not quite right. You're almost there. I would say I have been studying for a long time. Yeah. I have been studying for a long time. if you want to be very informal, you could say for many moons, right? I've been studying for many moons, but not ago. No, ago is it's a point in time, and we don't usually use it with the present perfect continuous, right? I've been studying English for 6 months. Perfect. Very, very nice. Cookbook as well. I have been studying at university for 5 years. Perfect. Really nice. You're doing really well, all of you. Really good. This is interesting. You're studying history at Damascus University. Excellent. Good. I have been studying English since 2020 until now. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Great. And then let's move on, because we can finally talk about, you can develop your answer by talking about which year you're in. If you are a university student, you can say, I'm in my first year, I'm in my second year, I'm in my final year. Okay. Actually, let me make that clearer. That's not 100% clear, is it? Let me just make it super clear, crystal clear. I'm in my first year. I'm in my second year. I'm in my final year. Of course, if you're going to an American university, you may come across my freshman year, sophomore year, final year. There are different expressions that are used in America that we don't tend to use in the UK, but you may hear those, yes. And let me add, we can talk about whether you like your studies. So this is such a common question in the IELTS speaking test. Do you enjoy your studies? Do you like your studies? And I've broken this down into chunks. Do you remember the chunks? The Lego blocks, building little phrases. Listen to the chunks here and notice how I use them. I like it mainly because I think it's going to be really useful for my future career. So after each chunk, there's a short pause, which may just help you to maintain the flow. I like it mainly because I think it's going to be really useful for my future career. Or the opposite, maybe you don't like it. Very, very possible. Let me bring this up one moment. You could say, I don't like it too much, mainly because the teacher we have is a bit boring. He doesn't engage us at all. Okay? So in a positive and in a negative, but the idea of the chunks helping your answer flow. I don't like it too much, or I don't like it at all, mainly because the teacher we have is a bit boring. He doesn't engage us at all. The at all just emphasizes the negative. It's a very nice, natural way when you're speaking to emphasize a negative. I don't like it at all. He doesn't engage us at all. Strong emphasis, right? Again, the mainly because... Ooh, what's happened? Oh no. Stop. The gremlins are in. Here we go. Mainly because, you can say because, but if you say mainly because, you're just saying, well, it's kind of 90% because, but there's another 10% for something else. So it just allows you to develop your answer. Okay. Right. Oh, Yashvi, that's a really good suggestion. A video on prepositions. Yes. Thank you for the suggestion. I will think about that. Nice. Okay. Yep. I'm in my final year at school. Very nice. I'm in my final year of my PhD journey. Nice. Okay. Good. Excellent. So we've got lots of vocabulary there. I'm going to switch for a moment. Okay. We've talking about your study, where you study, how long you study, which year you're in, and if you like it or if you don't like it. Okay. Different phrases and the idea of different chunks that you can use for that. Let's do a little bit of practice, okay? Let me show you here, a little bit of practice here. Can you guess from the picture what these people study? Now, I know it's impossible. You don't know. You can't know from looking at a person what they study. But think about the clues in the picture. There are some clues. What do you think they study? Just let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay. Julia, I'm giggling at your message. Your message is wonderful. Really nice. Thank you. And Jahanara as well. Thanks for all of those. So in the chat, just write number 1 and the subject. Number 2, the subject. For example, number 1, art. It's a good example. Yep. Let me know in the chat what you think. Interesting. Great answers. Okay, some brilliant answers. I love all of those. Okay, let's find out. I'm going to show you, well, we're going to watch each person tell us about what they study, notice the chunks they use, and find out if you guessed correctly. Okay, let's do it. Let's listen and see if your guesses were correct. Here is number 1.
I study classical art at college, and I'm in my 2nd year, so yeah, I've been studying for almost 2 years now. It's great. I'm having the time of my life. I actually want to be a museum curator when I graduate.
Did you guess correctly? Let me show you one more time. I'll put subtitles just to help you and see if you guessed correctly.
I study classical art at college, and I'm in my 2nd year, so yeah, I've been studying for almost 2 years now. It's great. I'm having the time of my life. I actually want to be a museum curator when I graduate.
Right. Okay. Did you get that? Did you see it? So she says, I study classical art, right? Classical art. A lot of you got that, and the clues were there in the picture. Notice how she develops her answer, right? What do you do? What do you study? I study classical art. I'm in my 2nd year. I've been studying almost 2 years. And then she says that she likes it. It's great. I'm having the time of my life. It's a nice idiom. Having the time of your life is to have a great time. You really enjoy something. And then she talks about the future. Nice. Very, very nice answer. What about number 2? A lot of you went for business management, technology, and that kind of thing. Let's watch number 2 and see if you guessed the right answer. Whoops.
I'm studying coding.
Excuse me. Here we go again.
I'm studying coding. I've been studying for just over a year now at university, and for the most part, I love it. Mainly because I'm so passionate about AI. I think it's the future. When I graduate, I want to run my own business.
Did you catch that? Did you get it? I'll show you again with subtitles, just to help you a little bit.
I'm studying coding. I've been studying for just over a year now at university, and for the most part, I love it. Mainly because I'm so passionate about AI. I think it's the future. When I graduate, I want to run my own business.
Okay. Very, very nice. Excellent. So let's have a look what he said. He said, I'm studying coding. Okay. I'm studying coding. He then goes on to say, I've been studying for just over a year. Over a year means more than a year. And for the most part, do you remember these chunks? And for the most part, I love it. Mainly because, and he talks about his passion, and then again, talking about the future, when I graduate. Notice in the future there, we don't say when I will graduate, we say when I graduate in the future, I want to run my own business, okay? Excellent. Not obvious from his appearance, and that's the point, right? You cannot tell from a person's appearance what they study. There may be clues, but we don't know. You cannot judge a book by its cover, right? Excellent. Well done. Really, really nice. Well done, all of you. So, where are we? What's next? What's next? I'll tell you what's next. This is coming up next. Let me come back to my lesson plan. That helps me always. It's always good to have a lesson plan as a teacher. So we've been looking at vocabulary. I'm going to switch over. Well, we've looked at chunks and a bit of speaking practice. It's next. Oh, it's time for this.
I want some idioms. I want them now. I want some idioms, but I don't know how to learn them, how to remember them. All I know, I really think so, is that I want some idioms now.
Time for some idioms.
How to learn them, how to remember them. All I know, and I really think so, is that I want some idioms now. How to learn them, how to remember them. All I know, and I really think
What we're going to do,
that I want some
I'm going to show you some pictures. And I want you to guess. Try and guess the idiom from the picture. Are you ready? Okay. Here is number 1. Just write in the chat what you think this idiom is. Right, I'm going to stop us on Arthur. Arthur here says, suits me down to the ground. Arthur, fantastic. Whoops. Suits me down to the ground. There's the suit, me going down to the ground. Arthur, spot on. Very, very, very nice. Let me share it with you over here. Oh, I have to bring it up. Bear with me. Here it comes. Here it comes. Eventually. Number 1, to suit me down to the ground. Something suits me, you, him, down to the ground. It means really, it's perfect. To be perfect for me. For example, the flexible timetable at university suited me down to the ground, as I like studying independently. Okay, so suit, and then you've got the pronoun there, suits me, suits you, down to the ground. Notice it's the ground. Okay, excellent, well done. Some of you said this one, that, yeah, Christina says it suits me to the ground. Normally we would say down. It suits me down to the ground, right? A few of you said down to earth. From the picture, I know what you mean. Down to earth is another kind of idiomatic adjective. Somebody is down to earth. It means they're very realistic. They haven't got their head in the clouds. They're down to earth, very pragmatic and realistic. But this is a different idiom. This is to suit me down to the ground. It can be used for a subject, right? For the guy we saw previously, he is studying coding. It suits him down to the ground because he's passionate about AI. So it's nice. It's a good expression you can use to talk about your subject and your studies as well. Okay. Excellent. Good. Elvira says, the new English course suits me down to the ground. Yes. Some people like to study online. It suits them down to the ground because it's independent. You can study when you want, as you want, from the comfort of your bed, if you like. Okay, let's switch now to idiom number 2. Are you ready? Can you guess this idiom? This is tricky, I know. Look at the houses. Where are the houses? Think about direction. Evidently good saying down. Is it down or is it up? Yes. Great. Oh, some great ideas here. We're not quite there, but so you've said home is where you make it. It could be. It could be. Some of you said live it up. So a great idiom, to live it up. But in this case, not quite. Live around the corner. You could say he lives around the corner, meaning he lives very, very close. Home is where you make it. We've had, what was the other one we said? I live in downtown. I live on the left. Let me reveal the answer for this one, okay? If you think about it, the houses are on a road or a street. Is it your street or my street? Well, I live here. It's my street and it's going up, right? So the answer is to be up my street. It's up my street. meaning it matches my interest or it matches my skill. I'm very good at it. For example, you might say, this computer course is right up my street because I'm passionate about AI. So often we say right up my street or it's up my street. Something is up my street or it's up your street. It doesn't mean it's on the road where you live. It means it's a good match. It's something you're interested in, something maybe you're good at, right? If I like teaching and I like technology, teaching online is right up my street. Something that I'm good at and something that I'm interested in. It's right up your street or my street. Okay, that was it. Some very good guesses there. Very good guesses. But that was, as Eva said, a tough nut to crack. The houses confuse you. I know I like to confuse you and mislead you, but it was trying to show you the street, my house in the middle of my street. Great. Okay, good. Let's switch on to the last one. Number 3. Are you ready? What is this idiom number 3? Here we go. The last one.
Yeah.
With this one, keep it simple. Fantastic. I'm going to stop us there because you've already got it super quick. Pinot, cat Pinot, well done. Pay off. To pay off. Okay, excellent. Now, to pay off, it does have different meanings, but what we're looking at here is the idea of to bring good results, right? Something pays off, then it brings you good results. For example, we could say all those years studying hard really paid off in the end because now I have a great job. So it paid off. And just notice we say that something pays off, right? Not I pay off. If you say I pay off, it's a different meaning. You can say I pay off my debt, but if something pays off, your study pays off, your hard work pays off, your dedication pays off, it brings good results. So maybe I can just make that really clear because something brings good results. I'm going to, something pays off. That's the way to use it, right? It can be study, work, dedication, that kind of thing. Something pays off. Just to guide you on how to use it, right? So make sure you're using it in the right way. For example, this is a good example. My work paid off finally, and I passed the exam with flying colours. Nice expression. Yes, flying colours to pass an exam very, very well. Yes. Other examples. Oh, I can see some of your later comments. The Grammar Fluent course paid off. Yes, not was paid off. That means you've paid money for it. But if you say the grammar course paid off, now I speak better English, for example, right? You can say the course paid off because now I speak better English. Yeah. Eva, you're absolutely right. To bring a good result after effort. Some of your other comments, absolutely right. Machine learning is right up my street. Yes, you can say that. Absolutely. That's great. Yes. Elvira said, watching English movies to improve my listening skills is definitely up my street. All of these are good, really good examples. Christine, such a nice example. To study with Keith pays off. I hope so, yes. Yes, Marco, you're using it in a different way. That's the literal way. I pay off my university loan is correct, but it's a different meaning, right, from here. But you're right. Hosanna, thank you so much. That's a really nice comment. Lovely to see you here. And I like your avatar. Very, very nice. Okay, right. Good. So we've got 3 idioms there. We've got to suit me down to the ground. Right. It's really good for me. To be up my street, which is a similar meaning, right? And to pay off something pays off. It's time to move on to our next activity. We are coming towards, not quite at the end. Let's see what's coming up next. I do have to press about 1,000 buttons to get there, but we've looked at idioms. Oh, it's time for Kahoot, which is great because we've got another 15 minutes left, more or less, is enough time to go into the Kahoot, where we're going to review some of the vocabulary that we have studied here. Okay, excellent, very, very nice. Let me set this up. So I'm going to set this up. If you haven't played before, I'll just explain to you how this works. I'm going to show you some questions on the screen here. You need to go in a different tab or a different browser to kahoot.it, sign up with your name. You don't actually sign up, you just put your name in. I'll give you a pin and then you can access the activity or the game. So I'm just looking for this here. We're going to do, where are we? Study. This is the one. I'm going to host it live. Come with me. Let me show you what I'm doing. Come behind the scenes. This will make more sense to you. We're going Kahootopia. I'm going to press start. Get ready to join. So you go to www.kahoot.it and then put in your name. You can use any name you like, and then the pin. And Burns, if you can, great, you're on it. Thank you so much, Burns. Just put in the pin there for everybody. It is 7055750. That's the pin you need, and you can join. Yuvraj, nice to see you here. Bernadette says, fluency and consistency always pay off. That's true, yes. Let me see if I can get this a bit more. Okay, good. So I'll give you just another minute to get in there and to join. I can see quite a few of you have joined. If you can't join, don't worry. You can still put your answer in the chat, but you wouldn't participate in the competition, but that's fine. It's all about the practice. The important thing is not to win. The important thing is to participate. I'm just going to adjust this because I think it's hard for me to judge exactly. Excuse me for changing the dimensions. I can't get it quite to fit on the screen. Nightmare. Lovely comment, Christine. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's start. We've got 5 questions. We're going to go through. I'll read the questions and you choose. There's 4 choices. You choose what you think is the correct answer. So there are different colors. There's blue, red, green, and yellow. Choose the color for the right answer, what you think it is. Okay, let's do it. Why did you blank that subject? Pick, pickle, picked, or picks? Why did you blank that subject? You have to choose the correct answer. Picked, pickle, pick, or picks? And you get 30 seconds, right, to put your answer down. Oh, that's interesting. So we had 14 of you got the correct answer, which is pick. Why did you pick that subject? A lot of you said picked, right? No, you say, of course we say I picked, but in the question, why did you pick? It's the infinitive, right? Why did you pick? So the answer there was pick. Why did you pick that subject? Okay. Well done, those of you who got it right. Let's move on. Let's see the board, the leaderboard. We've got Kate at the top, Ben second, D, well done. You're in third place. Space Gecko and Enas coming up behind. Here's question number 2. This degree is difficult, but I won't give up. I'm going to blank with it. I'm going to pick with it, stick with it, scratch with it, or spark with it. Excuse me. So this degree is difficult, but I won't give up. I'm going to blank with it. Pick, stick, scratch, or spark. Well done. Yeah, the vast majority of you got it. To stick, I'm going to stick with it. And of course, to stick with it is to continue doing it. Carry on doing it. Stick with it. Nice one. Well done. Next question. Oh, let's check that leaderboard. Oh, things have changed a bit. Kate is still up at the top. Space Gecko has moved up. Kuso and Dana are all moving in, as is Di. Here we go. Next question. This subject is great. It's right up my blank. Ground, road, path, or street. This subject is great. It's right up my ground, road, path, or street. Now, I'm confident you'll get this right because we've just studied this one. Well done, Juvia, Chow, and Christina. Well done. Yeah, okay, the majority of you got that right. It's right up my street. Excellent, well done. Not ground, not path, not road. Street is the word here. Right up my street, meaning it's something that is interesting for me, something I'm good at. It's excellent. It's a good match for me. It's right up my street. Well done. Let's check that leaderboard. How are we doing? Kate, you're impossible to move. You're standing strong in first place. Dana has come into second. Kuso, you're now third. Space Gecko, you're dropping a little bit. And Michael, you're the highest climber. Question number 4. If you study hard, it will pay blank and you can get a good job. If you study hard, it will pay in, pay off, pay out, or pay up. And you can get a good job. I realise that is not always true in today's society, but it's a good message. Study hard. Gitana from Ethiopia, thank you for your message. Lovely to see you. Oh, that's encouraging. Well done. Look at that. The vast majority got it correct. To pay off, it will pay off. Of course, here to pay off meaning give good results. It will pay off. If you study hard, it will pay off and you can get a good job, hopefully, despite the competitive marketplace. Right, let's check that leaderboard. Oh, it's Kate at the top, it's Dana second, Di, you're in third place. And we've still got the same, Space Gecko and Kuso, you're still there. Mubin is climbing high. It is time for the last question. I don't have a blank what I want to do in the future. Idea, scratch, clue, spark. I don't have a blank what I want to do in the future. Idea, scratch, clue, and spark. See you soon, Daniela. Thanks for joining. Right, I don't have a clue. Now, I noticed a few of you put idea. If it were I don't have an idea, possibly, but a idea, no, because idea takes an, right? You can't say a idea, it would be an idea. So if it's a, it must be clue. I don't have a clue. Basically, I don't know. Right, excellent, good. Well done. Well, it's time to see who's the winner. Let's have a look at the podium. Third place, Faye, well done, or Fav. D, you got into second, meaning first place. Kate. Well done, excellent. Great job. Well done, Kate. Well done, Dee. Well done. Well done, all of you, for participating. Really, really nice. Excellent. Good. Because of the time, I'm going to switch. I'm not going to claim the rewards. We can do the rewards another time. Okay, so we've come towards the end of the session. Just to recap then with all of you, what we've been doing today is we've been looking at the topic of study. Let me come back over here. We've been talking about study, talking about what you study or what you've studied in the past. We've listened to the gentleman talking to the alumni, the listening bingo activity to help you with your listening skills. We've focused on chunks, these almost blocks of language you can use, thinking of the sound, the one sound to improve your fluency. We've looked at vocabulary, especially if you're preparing for IELTS speaking and how that can help you develop your answers. We've done a bit of practice there as well. And we've looked at these idioms like to be up my street. That was very tough, I know. And we've finished up with a game of Kahoot just to review some of the vocabulary. And I hope this has all been very, very, very useful for you. I am going to finish in a moment with a song, because one way we can review the language is to use the language in a song. And today, to be honest, with AI, it's so easy. I can take all of the language we've studied, put it into a nice song, and that's what we're going to do. Let me remind you that our next public live lesson will be February the 5th. So it's the first Thursday of each month. And here on YouTube, we'll be having the next public live lesson. To let you know that the gold course, we will have our next live lesson next week. So January the 15th, next Thursday, if you're on the gold course, you get these extra live lessons, 2 extra. There's one next week, the one the week after, as well as the Zoom calls where we do speaking practice in breakout rooms together to discuss the topics of the live lesson. So you can join, if you're interested, join the gold course and get the extra live lessons, the extra Zoom meetings, and lots more. It's all there for you in the gold course. Where is the gold course? The gold course is on the Keith Speaking Academy. Do you remember the website, the Keith Speaking Academy? Let me just show you very briefly. If you come into the Keith Speaking Academy website, you'll see in the top corner, there's the courses, or you can go here, join the gold course. And this will just give you all the information about the gold course here. If you're on YouTube, we are offering a 25% discount at the moment on the course. It talks you through about the speaking success system and all the different things that you can get inside the course. And if you feel that that's for you, it's the way you want to practice to really level up, then you can just press the join now button at the very, very end. And it will take you to the checkout page and you can pay. We have payment plans as well. If you want to pay in 2 installments or in 3 installments, you can click the button and you can go in there and you can sign up for the course if that is of interest to you. Also, to let you know, with what we've done with today's lesson, the PDF that I've got, you can go later to the free live lessons area, and later we will upload this here so you can get that as well, which will help you on your study. Okay, there we have it. That's it for today's session. Let me just move around. Let me just check how you're all doing. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. It's been a real pleasure as always. Thank you for the comments. It's always very motivating as well for me to see all the different comments here. And it's a big help. Okay. Rudiger is one of our students on the Gold course. Yeah, really nice to have you on the course. Thank you so much for joining and for it. Yes. Inasso, you're right about French. I need to get back into it. 2026, the year to start studying again, right? Yinlong, also another Gold course, not in the Facebook group. Okay, we do have a Facebook group in the Gold course. It's a way to connect with other students. Once you've applied to join, within 2 days, we'll accept you in the course. We'll get onto that and make sure that you join very quickly so that you can enjoy it, right? Excellent. Good. Thanks for your valuable lesson. You're very welcome. Really, very much. Okay, let me finish up as promised with a little song, okay? And I'll share with you the lyrics because that might help you follow it as well. And what a nice way just to review some of the language that we've been studying today. The song is called Study for Our Future. And Study for Our Future, this is dedicated to parents who are studying, who have to balance, they have to balance bringing up children with study. They have to balance work with study in order for them. I know a lot of you are studying to migrate or to immigrate to another country or to study abroad for your brighter futures. And I know it's very challenging and very difficult to do. So this song is dedicated to all of you parents in particular who are making that balance and making the difficult decisions to study and to keep to stick with it, stick to your study habit. So this is the song. Let me show you the lyrics over here. By the way, if you're on YouTube, do remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, because I do publish videos on Saturdays as well, which you can get. If you're into social media, I'm up on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You can find all the contacts over there. But here's the song. It's called Study for Our Future. And this is it. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see all of you very.
I love you lots, but I have to hit the books now. I need to study lots. Yeah. Please don't start her out.
Good luck.
Believe it or not, if I study today, you know we've got a future that may take us places. I've been studying for years. I'm gonna stick at it. Despite all my fears, I know we can make it. Ooh, I don't have a clue where we're gonna go. I haven't got it mapped out, but one thing I do know is it will take us places.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we can put it off. You can even tell me off. At times I may feel off, but I know it will pay off. I don't have a clue where we're gonna go. I haven't got it mapped out, but one thing I do know is it will
Good luck.
take us places.
Wow. And Koala, thank you very much. See you all soon. Thank you, everybody. The video stays on YouTube. You can come back and watch it again. Thank you so much for joining. Take care, everybody. See you soon. All the best now. Bye-bye.